And good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Eric Hammerling from the Connecticut Forest and Park Association. Sir.
Great to see you.
Hi, buddy. Good to see you again. What's new?
Oh, boy. So much is going on this time of year.
Well, we got a half hour to talk about it.
I look forward to that.
Where are we starting?
Well, let's start with the weather outside is frightful, right?
Yes, it is.
This season.
It is the season.
And, of course, you know, there's 825 miles of blue-blazed hiking trails all around the state in 96 towns. And this is unfortunately when those trails sometimes take on some winter damage. Mm-hmm. So we're always wondering what the next storm is going to bring, and with great staff and amazing volunteers making sure that we're able to respond and clear those trails and keep them open for people to use.
Cool.
So that's one of those, and of course, you know, we're also, because the weather is so frightful, and we've been getting a little bit of snow lately.
Oh yeah.
We're fortunate to have a little shed at our headquarters where we do a lot of our trails work indoors. So we're working on kiosks and making sure that, you know, some of those structures that wind up getting put up outdoors are preformed in the safety of an indoor nice spot for it.
And how long have you been executive director for CFPA?
Oh my gosh, almost 12 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, since 2008.
Wow.
And absolutely love the organization.
Yeah.
It's really an honor to be one of the leaders of the oldest nonprofit conservation organization in the state, now almost 125 years old. So almost. Next year in 2020.
2020,
we turn 125. You know, that if you go back 125 years ago, it's amazing what wasn't in Connecticut then that is here now. For example, there were no state parks or forests.
No.
There was no Yale School of Forestry. There was no state forester. There were no wildlife management areas that were being maintained the way they are today.
Right.
So that's one of the things that our organization at its very onset had this thought, oh, there's national parks, maybe we should have state parks and forests too. And it was thanks to the folks who came before me that we now have 110 state parks, 32 state forests, about 80 plus wildlife management areas on about 250,000 acres in Connecticut. So there's been amazing gains that have been made over the last 125 years, and we're much more forested today too. Really? In 1895, Connecticut had gone through a lot of deforestation and wood was being used for lots of different things. And you know, farms had cleared their forests to put in farms. Right. And in fact, we were so deforested in Connecticut, only about 20% of our state had trees on it. Today, it's closer to 60% has trees on it. So we've also come a long way in terms of understanding our forests and protecting them. And that's something that CFPA has been working on for a really long time, and we're really proud of.
Cool. And of course, during the summer, and once the weather gets warmer, you guys are really busy with everything going on.
Absolutely, and really the height of the year in the middle of the summer is Connecticut Trails Day.
Right.
That first weekend in June, it's actually the largest Trails Day celebration, and it's a national celebration that takes place anywhere in the country. This year, 255 events happened all around the state on that one weekend in June.
Oh, cool.
So, and next year, we want to see if we can make it even bigger. We actually were looking at some of the national statistics on Connecticut Trails Day to just see how big it is in Connecticut. We found that 1 out of every 7 events that happened anywhere in the country happened here. In Little Connecticut, we are fighting well above our weight, and that's something that the Connecticut Forest and Park Association has been coordinating for all the different groups in Connecticut that participate in it since the mid-1990s. So that's another thing that we're really excited about and look forward to this next year.
Now let's talk about the Passport program and how that works.
Sure. Well, if you go back to 2016 and 17, and if you're thinking about our state parks, and you pick up a paper and you'd hear, oh no, the parks are in trouble. And the budget had been going down for about a decade
Right.
every year. And we actually, that year in 2016 and 17, closed 4 campgrounds to the public because of funding problems.
Right.
And we and others knew we need to find a way to fund the parks more sustainably and make sure that they're funded all year round.
Sure.
And fortunately, the legislature and at the time Governor Malloy agreed and started this new program called the Passport to the Parks that's been phenomenally successful. Not only is it raising money for the parks, everyone who registers a vehicle pays $5 a year for
registration
in their registration towards the Passport to the Parks
Absolutely.
program. And that takes care of, that generates about $14 million to help maintain our state parks.
Okay.
And as a bonus,
Yes.
everyone with a Connecticut license plate gets in for free. So whereas in the past,
Right.
you used to have to, at a place like Hammonasset, pay $13 to get in once.
Right.
Now you pay $5 as part of your registration, and you can go as many times as you want.
Cool.
So it's an amazing way to really make sure that anyone who is able to get to the parks can get in for free.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, and I guess I say for free. Yes, we all pay our $5,
Right.
but really for the equivalent of a high-end cup of coffee, that's a pretty big benefit.
Exactly.
And
Absolutely.
obviously there are a lot of communities that have parks in them that are now being better maintained,
Right.
that are benefiting because more people are coming to the parks. In fact, both last year and this year, they had a 10% increase in attendance, and now over 10 million people a year are coming to our state parks. That's more than come to major casinos and the places that we typically talk about as being major tourist destinations. Our parks are drawing even more people.
Wow. Very cool.
So it's amazing. Yeah, parks are not only a great place to recreate, but also a real engine of local economies and are generating jobs and helping to sustain communities.
I was going to say, I'm sure during this time of the season with the weather, the park business sort of quiets down until the spring.
Pretty much, although you'd be amazed how many people will wait until October or November to get to the parks. Usually in the wintertime it does go down, though. The first weekend the first day of the year, there are first day hikes at a bunch of different parks, and more parks and forests are starting to develop areas for snowshoeing and people to do winter hiking. So there are even opportunities all year round, and again, that's thanks to the Passport to the Parks. They're able to have seasonals who can continue working and keep those places well maintained.
Cool. So what else are you guys up to?
Well, this year and this time of year, we're always thinking forward to the next legislative session, not knowing what might be coming down the road. But we have to say we're feeling pretty good about some things, and that is, we've talked before about our state, our public lands being not as protected as they could be, because the General Assembly has the ability to sell, swap, give away public lands. However, last November, Connecticut, as we went to the ballot boxes, we voted really strongly to support what was question 2 at the ballot. And that ensures that looking forward now, we amended the state constitution so that whenever public lands are being proposed to be sold, swapped, or given away by the General Assembly, there has to be a public process first. Now, we're not saying that those types of things cannot happen, but it has to be done publicly with transparency, and that's something that I think, 85% of our voters feel that that's a really important thing. We obviously feel that's a very strong way to ensure that these special places are protected far into the future.
Cool. Wow, you guys are a very busy organization.
That's for sure.
And how many of there are you?
Well, there are 10 of us.
Wow.
But that is magnified many, many times by having some amazing volunteers who work with us, maintaining trails, doing educational programs, and even helping with communications. And
you have one of those?
We have an amazing new volunteer who was familiar with us for a little bit of time and decided to give of his time to step up and help us spread the word about CFPA. Pete Mezzetti, I believe, is his name.
Never heard of him.
And I've got to say, we're so pleased, Pete, that you're willing to help us out that way.
Thanks,
as you hear, there's a lot of things always going on outdoors. There's a need to do more, and to have someone of your skills and abilities to help spread the word is amazing. So we thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, as far as Trails Day last year, how'd it go?
Oh, it was incredible. We're, you always worry because it's just one weekend that you're going to have great weather.
Yeah.
And when you have a rainy Trails Day, a lot
it's no fun.
A lot of events are able to reschedule.
Right.
But you really want to have that day and that weekend be the time where people are really getting outdoors. We had perfect weather this year. Between 5,000 and 6,000 people were out enjoying events through that weekend.
Oh, wow.
Probably more. Those are just the people who signed up and were registered. But I've got to say, we were really pleased and are looking for ways to make it even easier for people to participate going forward. So that's what we hope will be the focus in 2020.
Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
I'd be happy to.
We'll be right back. And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show, sitting here with Eric Hammerling from the Connecticut Forest and Park Association. Sir, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to open up this segment about the state of Connecticut being a mecca.
An outdoor recreation mecca.
There you go.
Now, I've got to say, I talked a little bit about the Blue Blazed hiking trails.
Yeah.
And Trails Day being the largest in the nation.
Right.
We've got amazing resources in Connecticut, and I hear all the time that one of the amazing things about our state is there are so many different things to do, and they're all so close to each other because we're so small.
Right.
And that's something we need to really celebrate. There's something that's happening nationally, and the National Governors Association has actually said that really states should be looking at outdoor recreation as one of those key economic engines for states.
Sure.
We've been trying to encourage Governor Lamont to really hop on board and say Connecticut is that type of outdoor recreation mecca. We do want to make sure that outdoor recreation businesses are really telling the story too about how much they benefit and how much we all benefit from having parks, forests, places to recreate outdoors. There's actually a new organization that we're a part of that we're kind of excited to help promote, and it's a group called CORA, the Connecticut Outdoor Recreation Alliance. And what it is a group of outdoor recreation-oriented businesses, really led by REI, who has 3 locations in Connecticut that they sell outdoor equipment.
Yeah, the outdoor equipment place, sure.
And a lot of outside TV, a lot of other outdoor focused businesses are saying, you know what, if you look at some of the national figures, according to the Outdoor Industry Association, outdoor recreation in Connecticut attracts $9 billion every year,
Right.
helps to support over 70,000 jobs in Connecticut.
Okay.
It's a big time industry, and that really isn't celebrated the way it needs to be and
Yeah.
promoted the way it needs to be.
Right.
We should be promoting Connecticut and not telling people to go to other states to have a good time. So
Exactly.
that's one of the things that you'll hear that mantra from us, that Connecticut needs to have outdoor recreation as part of its what it celebrates.
Okay.
We are a mecca of outdoor recreation, and we should be proud of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what else? What else are we talking about as far as the organization goes? And let's look into the perspective of the year 2020 coming up and where we want to go for next year.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because we're right now going through our strategic planning process and looking forward.
Yep.
And we have a really broad mission, and that's to connect people to the land, to protect forests, parks, trails, and open spaces forever. And we are trying to do that in lots of different ways. We do it through some of the advocacy work that we do at the Capitol.
Yep.
We're actually a statewide land trust, and we own
Really?
or monitor over 2,000 acres of land all around the state.
Oh, cool.
We have not only the Blue Blazed Hiking Trails and Trails Day, but we're doing a new series of both runs on Blue Blazed Hiking Trails and guided walks on Blue Blazed Hiking Trails that we'll be showcasing this next year. And we also have education programs where they're focused on lots of different outdoor recreation related topics, wildlife topics, to make sure that the public has a way to understand and really enjoy the natural resources that we have here.
Very cool.
So yeah, so there's a lot of that that we're looking forward to, and right now it's all figuring out how we can keep doing the things that we've been doing and maybe think about something more, because
Exactly.
it will be our 125th anniversary. We haven't yet figured out how we're going to celebrate that, and maybe you can come up with some ideas with us
got a
to
couple
see
ideas.
how we can make a big old party.
There you go. We got a big old party. There you go.
There we go. I mean, well, Trails Day weekend, always a big old party,
Right.
but we need an extra big old party to celebrate 125 years.
There you go. We'll figure something out.
Good.
We'll come up with some sort of an idea.
For sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as far as Trails Days go, and you said it's every June?
Yeah, it's the first weekend in June.
Okay.
Yep. And it's something that continues to grow. We partner with lots of different organizations to make sure that it happens. It's
Right.
a combination of, we've got land trusts, watershed groups, park and rec departments from all around the state,
Oh, cool.
the Appalachian Mountain Club, lots of other partners are leading events and making sure that it's easy for people to get outdoors and explore new places. Right. And I always encourage people on Trails Day weekend, I typically do, I can fit in probably 4, sometimes 5 events over that weekend. I encourage people to do at least 2 and try something new.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of things that are done every year, but there are always new events. A couple years ago, and you'll enjoy this one, our trail stewardship director led a kazoo hike.
Really?
So everyone got kazoos. They played the kazoo as they were walking through the woods. I don't think anyone who did that has ever done it. I don't know if they've ever done it again, but that was pretty unique. And there's always
cool.
something unique like that.
There you go. And that's it. All the state forests all across the state of Connecticut for Trails Day.
Just about all the state forests, many of the state parks have events, but lots of them are on trails that are on, water company land,
Yeah.
on municipal land, even some on private land. So it's really the whole spectrum of the different types of trails you can find in the state.
Cool. Very cool.
Even water trails. In fact, there are a number
Water
of
trails.
yeah, a number of events with people kayaking, canoeing on water. Or they're calling them water trails.
Wow.
I worry sometimes that they get called blue trails. It's a little close to Blue Blaze hiking trails.
Yeah, no.
But
Water trails.
They're all right. Water trails. They're linear.
Right.
People get from one place to another, and they're a great way also to be outdoors and have fun.
Exactly. I was going to say the water's probably a little this time of the year. Probably a little cold.
A little cold this time of year,
Yeah,
but
no.
first weekend in June, that's a good time to be
Exactly.
outdoors.
That's a great time to go out. Great time to go out. And what people don't know, especially on the shoreline, you have some beautiful parks. You
Oh,
have
absolutely.
Hammerling.
Yep.
You have
Rocky Neck,
Rocky Neck.
Silver Sands in Milford.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
So along the Sherwood Island
Yep.
and Westport, and in fact, if you think about that, the 10 million people who come to state parks every year,
Yes.
I would say 4 million or so are probably coming to those shoreline parks. Those are the most visited of all of the parks.
Oh, yeah.
So this part of Connecticut gets a lot of visitation because of those parks.
I was gonna say, once the weather gets warmer and the spring rolls around, from like March or April to like May or June, no problem getting into Hammerling.
Right.
After June,
Yeah.
stay away from it until October.
Yeah, it gets
It
busy.
gets nuts.
It gets really busy. You know, one thing that's been interesting
Yeah.
about the passport to the parks, they found that at places like Hammonasset, now that you don't have to pay at the gate to get in,
Right.
people aren't staying as long. So even though it will fill up on a really busy weekend,
Oh yeah.
people will also leave, and other
back.
people can
Right, come in.
So they're able to fit in more people. More people are able to have that experience. But you're right, on like July 4th
Yeah.
is one of those times that if you're going to go to a park and it's
Go
a fun,
early.
go early.
because once park season rolls around and the weather gets nice, I remember last summer, I don't remember what month it was, but like Rocky Neck was full to capacity, Hammonasset was full to capacity. It's like it's 8:30 in the morning, and they're full already. Holy cow!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, people want to get to the parks.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's exciting that people are doing that, and we'll make either a full day of it or a partial day.
Exactly.
It's there for the public to enjoy.
It is. Now, you guys are a nonprofit organization, correct?
That's right. Yep.
And obviously, you love people who want to give you money.
You know, we never say no.
Right.
Well, actually, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, don't
there
say
probably are some examples of saying no, but we do encourage individuals.
Yeah.
You know, we do have corporate sponsors
Right.
for
Right.
Trails Day, but we're really supported by a lot of members.
Right.
But there's never enough because. It's amazing. It's kind of like NPR. Everyone,
Yeah, right.
Everyone enjoys it for free. You know, they get to go to the parks for free. They don't know that there are organizations like CFPA that are really responsible and standing behind protecting those places. And so we appreciate whenever people join and support us. And this time of year, it happens to be a really important time of year for a lot of nonprofits getting
Yeah.
support. And
Yeah.
I would encourage people to, please be as generous as they can, because it makes a huge difference.
Exactly. Yeah. And if people want more information on CFPA, where can they go?
So if they go to our website, which is ctwoodlands.org, there's a lot of information about us. And if folks want to stop by and visit in Middlefield, we're
Yeah.
always happy to see them.
You know, the only thing that's missing on your website?
I think, what's missing is
What?
an announcement of our new volunteer.
You know what else is missing?
what
A
else?
picture.
Oh, and a picture.
Yeah, there's no announcement.
we will take care of that.
I was gonna
my
say
friend.
we gotta
Absolutely.
we can fix that.
Yes, we can.
I'm
can.
sure we could.
For sure.
That's easy.
For sure.
That's easy.
Absolutely.
So as far as obviously no donations to too big or too small for CFPA?
Right, and a basic individual membership is $35.
Okay.
But we have some people who will give up to the Winslow Society level, which is $1,000 and more.
Oh, wow.
A year. But any amount of support is greatly appreciated and makes a big difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've got a little bit more time left. So if people want more information on CFPA, where can they go?
ctwoodlands.org.
And what type of information can they find?
So they'll find information about all of the different programs that we have. They'll find out if they want to visit any of the Blue Blaze hiking trails. They can get right to the trailheads, get driving directions, learn more about the types of things they'll see outdoors, and also learn about things like climate change that's on everyone's mind, and how important forests are to our climate, and trying to make sure that we don't warm up as quickly as we are warming up, and how we respond to some of those storms that we're likely going to have in our future if we're not really careful. There's a lot of information on the website, but of course if people want to contact us personally, we would encourage them to do that as well.
Phone number is?
860-346-TREE. TREE. So if that, hopefully an easy one to remember.
Exactly.
And we hope folks will be in touch.
Eric Hammerling from CFPA, thanks for coming down. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. On behalf of Eric Hammerling, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.